I've been playing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which I haven't really had the chance to talk about on this show. Because last week was E3 and we just kind of hopped right into E3. But during E3, like in between conferences and post E3, I've been playing Ratchet and Clank, and I've been enjoying it quite a bit. It's good. Is it my favorite Ratchet game? Probably not. I mean, it's like nothing's ever going to top Going Commando. So, okay, let me break it down, okay?
Break it down.
In 2016, we got the Ratchet reboot of sorts, where they dropped the movie and then they dropped the $40 game. And with that, they completely changed the feel and like tone of the games and the franchise. Whereas before it was kind of more of like teenage angsty, edgy sort of thing,
right.
Where the games were literally like Going Commando, up your arsenal, a quest for booty. Like those were the title of the games.
Nice. Yeah. Great, great puns and shit.
Yeah, and it was just stupid. And like Ratchet and Clank, they butted heads, and like there was a lot of sort of adult humor, but it wasn't like too adult that it was, a rated M game. Where now it's almost like Pixar. I would say more DreamWorks. It's sort of like Shrek, because it does have like some jokes in it. Like it's like a Shrek. And I kind of prefer it the old way. And maybe that's just because that's what I grew up with.
Right. You could be just a jaded old man.
I could be. But the gameplay's still fun. Although I will say they changed a lot of the weapons, right? They got rid of a lot of classic weapons and replaced them with other weapons, some of which are complete ass. Specifically, there's a weapon called the Ricochet weapon that is just such dog shit. It's such dog shit that like the idea is that you shoot it out and it like shoots out, and then you click R2 again and it comes back and like re-hits the same guy.
Okay.
But sometimes it just gets stuck in the air and nothing happens, and it just sort of stays there, and you're like clicking R2 and like things are hitting you and you're like, come on, shoot, you stupid, like. And yeah, there's just some shit like that in the game.
That sounds like a bug.
Yeah.
Rather than like this gun is shit.
Well, yeah, but with the frequency that it happens, it feels more like a feature. So, the thing with Ratchet and Clank is you got to level up all your guns, and that's kind of what your incentive is, to use different guns.
Right.
So yeah, I had just been using that weapon nonstop because I just wanted to level it up so I never had to use it again. So I guess I prefer some of the weapons in the older games, but like the game's really pretty. It's fun. I really like Rivet. She's cool. She does sound like Sandy Cheeks from SpongeBob though, which is kind of annoying if I'm being honest. But she's cool. She's got earrings, and I appreciate that. She's got like the the cool earrings. And then Ratchet has like a new Clank type character that I like as well. I can't remember their name. Kit.
Spoiler.
Kit. Yeah. Well, you get her right at the beginning of the game. It's basically like this is new Ratchet and Clank, but now Clank is with Rivet and Ratchet has Kit, I think. But it's cool. It's a pretty game, but it's also like hidden walls. This has kind of turned into a Ratchet and Clank review, but I'm feeling time.
We got nothing but time.
But the secret areas in the original games, the PS2 games, right? There would be like golden bolts hidden everywhere, and there are golden bolts in this one, but they're like hidden in very obvious spots, whereas like in the original ones you'd have to like jump through some weird shit that doesn't even seem like you're able to go through it to get the golden bolt. So like instinctively I start doing that stuff in this game where it's like, oh, there's a weird roof there that looks like I can jump to it. Let me jump to it. Invisible wall. And you just hit and
and then you fall to your death or
and
whatever.
there's
Yeah.
just invisible walls everywhere. Volpinator, yeah, the topiary sprinkler is annoying as well. So like what that one does is it shoots grass on people and it like turns them into like grass. Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's just it's good. It's a fun game. I appreciate the use of the controller, and what's really impressive about it are the load times, like the instant load times, and like there's a feature because like the whole idea is you're going through different dimensions, and like in one map, you'll be switching between the two dimensions by hitting a crystal. So like, and it's instantaneous that you just like switch, the whole map just changes. Like it's really impressive and cool. And the things that they showed in the trailers where like you hook to the yellow thing, it feels just sort of like a swing shot. I don't know.
Right.
I don't really
Right.
understand why. It's just there to look cool, I guess. Um, but overall, pretty good game. I appreciate it. And right now, it's really the only game besides Returnal that uh, makes the PS5 worth it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's one of the only like exclusives
yeah,
even.
it's like
Like
that
that's
and
just
Returnal. Yeah. Um, but and I'm excited to see where this franchise goes from here. I haven't beaten the game yet. Obviously, I will report back, but that's sort of my impressions of Ratchet and Clank. But that's all I've been playing. What you been playing, Nick?
What?
Oh, here we go. Volpinator. My biggest issue is that some of the weapons feel like a chore to level up. Yeah, for real. And that's always kind of been a thing, especially since the second Ratchet and Clank game, because that's when they added strafe, which kind of like made it so you just wanted to use the machine gun all the time. Just kind of turned it into a third person shooter. So it always kind of felt like a chore, but the weapons were so cool and fun in those older games that like it didn't really matter much. But in this one, some of the weapons are pretty cool, but I'd say most of the weapons are pretty like they almost seem like afterthoughts.
yeah.
So
They kind of did that with like BioShock too. I feel like the way you're the way you're describing it makes it sound like BioShock. How like BioShock 1, you had like, you get the power-ups and then your arms turned into like stuff and like each one of them felt unique. Whereas like BioShock Infinite came out and it's like, well, you have this and you can like shoot it or you can place a trap. And that's pretty much all of it. Like there's a couple of like tangents on those, but most of like the power-ups that you get, it's either you shoot it or you put it on the ground and you wait for an enemy to hit you. And it's like, okay, well, I either shoot a green thing at this guy or I shoot a red thing at this guy, or I throw a green thing on the ground and wait for him to walk into it, or I throw a red thing in the ground and wait for him to walk into it. I feel like they just kind of took what made BioShock good and just kind of railroaded it into a basic ass, you know, a
um
hallway shooter.
I want to shout out this YouTuber. He's got I think he's called the Gaming Brit.
Okay.
And he's got this YouTube channel and he does this video and it's called How Ratchet and Clank Lost Its Edge. It's like this hour and 15-minute video that just like perfectly describes how I feel about the new games. Although he shits on the new games way more than I do because I still enjoy these new games. But he
Right.
does a good job of expressing why I prefer the older
The old
games.
ones. Yeah.
Um,
He just does it more aggressively.
yeah, he's much more aggressive about it because I do still enjoy these games and like
They're just different.
they're different.
Yeah.